Hello and welcome to Toad Rolls Dice, where today we're going to be asking the question, what is a Gamer's Edition Battletome? We're going to start our journey here on Warhammer.com. This is the Chaos Battletome Slaves to Darkness Gamer's Edition. So this is the one that I picked up. And I figured you've got an idea. There was a Warcom article about what this actually is. But it's a really cool idea. But until I bought it and physically owned one, I didn't actually quite understand what the differences were. So we're going to jump through this. I've got some pictures that I'm going to show you that I've taken of my Slaves to Darkness. I'm going to touch on the couple that are available as well. But there's some really cool stuff here, and I just wanted to run through this. So a Gamer's Edition packs all the materials into a more compact, softback format. It includes a set of cards to reference during games, and an envelope. You can bring only the cards you need for your game. So that envelope, because I didn't take a picture of this, is just on the back page. And then you can slot the cards that you need into there, which is actually a really cool idea. But with this, you also get the cards included. It is more expensive than a normal Battletome, and it is only available through Games Workshop directly. But for £50 you get the cards and the Battletome, everything that you need for your faction in one small, and I mean small, portable packet. So as it stands at the moment, there was a Skaven version, but that has obviously sold out, or they didn't make as many, or I don't know. But the Skaven version has sold out and will never be produced again. I believe these are a limited run things. But the Stormcast Eternals Battletome is still available, and the brand new Orruk War Clans just went up for pre-order Saturday just gone, is available. So I thought, because there's a Battletome coming out, this is probably a pretty good time to run over what this actually is. Just to be clear, I'm not going over Battletome Slaves to Darkness. I'm just talking about what this package actually is. How about we jump over to the PowerPoint? So it turns up from Games Workshop in its own little box. Then you open that up and you have this rather nice black, I say display box, it's not, it's just a protective cover. But you do have your army faction symbol on it there, which is cool. And you open it up and that's what it is. There's your softback Battletome. Underneath that there's your cards, with a nice little card insert just to keep everything together. Or really for transport. I've kept the box, but I don't know why. But that's the contents. A nice little softback A5 Battletome and the cards in a, two decks, very slim. It's all well presented, really nice artwork on the front. And that's the back, again as expected. Just to compare, because this was what really shocked me the most. This is the full Battletome, but condensed down. And as you can see, this is the AOS 4th edition rulebook. There is quite a size difference. So this is the generic Battletome size. And inside you have beautiful artwork. This is Archeon here. The text is, as you'd expect for an A5 book, a little smaller. Which is fine for me because I have decent vision, but for a lot of people I would say that this is really the compact lore element and stuff. It's a nice to have. You could maybe play around with just having the data sheets and things in this book. I don't know, I suppose they're trying to give value for money, but you do get the full Battletome in this. Here's some of the Dark Oath stuff. And then Gunnar's Oathsworn. Gunnar is my favourite character in AOS, so we're going to focus on him with our pictures. But just to give you an idea of what we've got inside. And then, just as a preview, there's the War Scrolls as well. It's exactly as you find them in the normal books, just shrunk. And here we have the cards. Again, exactly as you'd expect to find them in the bigger packs of cards. But there is a bit of a size difference. Now this is comparing it to the original index cards that were released. But it's Gunnar Exactly the same model. To be honest, the stats are pretty much exactly the same. It's just the positioning and the layout is different. And on the flip side, you actually have what those keywords and abilities are instead of the beautiful lore that each one of these cards has, which I thought was a really nice touch. Now, I can't speak for the brand new accompanying cards that go with the Slaves of Darkness Battletome. I would expect them to be a very similar layout, in all honesty, but comparing them to the previous 4th edition cards, there's quite a difference, but it's really just the lore that you're missing out on. But that's it. It is just a very small, much more compact Battletome. My honest opinion, I was a little disappointed because this was the first Battletome I've had. I thought we'll try the Gamer Edition because I'd be buying the cards anyway. This is my AOS army. Dark Oath is my AOS army. This is what I'm going to be going with. I thought it'd be interesting for the channel to get the Gamer Edition. And in my mind, I was always saying I'm probably going to pick up the full-size one anyway because I'm like that. I like to collect things. I like to have things. I haven't picked it up yet. I have picked up the Stormcast Eternals full-size Battletome. And my preference is the full-size, and I think that they're a nicer book to own. But having travelled around with the whenever I go to the store, even if I'm not taking Dark Oath, I'll take the Battletome because it just slips in your bag. You don't need to worry about it. It can get battered around. It's a softback, so it can take a bit of punishment, and it doesn't look dog-eared straight away. It's growing on me. I'm really impressed. The only issue is that it is that small portable vibe, and honestly, some people may not be looking for the full Battletome but shrunk. I think this is a really cool way of playing about with how they deliver Battletomes. You still get your code for online access and using stuff in the app. Honestly, that's probably how I'm going to be playing it, but I do like having the cards to hand. This is really, really cool. If you're buying the Battletomes for the lore and just a general overview of what that army is, my suggestion is stick with the hardback Battletomes. They're a much bigger size, they're easier to read, they're a nicer book, and just a nicer experience, I think. But if you're playing, if your main focus is playing, if you're going to be going to tournaments, if you're going to be going to weekly games nights, these are perfect. And I was on the fence, I was a little bit disappointed at start, but I'm glad that I picked this up for the armies that I'm going to be playing. Stormcast is an army I'm interested about and I like the models, and I'll probably mess around with them as and when I've built up a force. But because I'm getting these guys ready to go as soon as possible, this is perfect. I think that the Gamer Edition is a brilliant way of delivering them in a new way. It is the full Battletome. I do stress that purely because there is nothing cut out, and actually the cards, you get more cards in this than you do in the card pack, the other card pack, the big full-size cards, because you get all of your manifestation laws. You get all of the enhancements. Everything that you will need in card form is in here, whereas it isn't in the card set, which is a bit weird, I know. But this is the complete Gamers. It's a weird way of putting it, Gamers. I would have said a Player's Edition. But this is everything that a player will need to travel around with. And you could even condense that down to just the book, with selecting however many units you need and popping them in the envelope there, which is a really nice little addition. And it just, this is the thing with Age of Sigmar that I don't think 40k do. I think AOS is the test bed and that's why 40k don't do it, but Spearhead is a big test that I think has been excellent as a way of playing the game and delivering the game for newer players. These smaller condensed Battletomes I think is something the community has been crying out for. Not in this format. I think you could strip away the lore and you have your big hardback, and then you just have a smaller condensed version with the data sheets, and then you have one data sheet to a page and it's bigger, so it's probably the same size text as the big full-size book, but it is just War Scrolls. The cards is a nice inclusion. Yes, it's pricier, I like them. I like them both as products. I think that this Gamers Edition needs to be refined and tweaked and played about with behind the scenes in the development stage. Maybe just run over it again and try and deliver them in a better way. Honestly, I think that there should just be a digital only, you buy a code and all of your rules are in the app. I think that's how it should be. Or ideally, you get all of the rules for all the Battletomes and all the 40k codexes with your Warhammer Plus subscription, even if that's like a Gamer Edition subscription, because they seem to like that term, where it's a couple of quid extra a month or maybe a tenner a year extra, but you get all of the rules for every faction and it's constantly updated. I think that's the way they should be doing this if they don't want to do free rules online. But this is quite a nice stopgap and a really nice way of them testing these things out and these ideas. And using AOS to deliver it isn't a surprise to anyone. But honestly, I think that this is quite a good way to go. Having both books, I absolutely think that the big books should stay. They're just wonderfully done. The layouts, the presentation, the production quality of the bigger books is amazing, but you don't want to be carrying around that all the time. The problem with the physical book element of these games and how often they're updated is that these rules will be tweaked and they could be out of date very soon. But as someone who wanted the lore and everything to do with this Battletome, this has worked out pretty well for me, but I will also be buying the bigger book down the line, the full-size Battletome, the hardback, just for my collection, but also because I'm weird like that. But this is a Gamers Edition. Hopefully this gives you an insight into which edition, whenever your faction comes out, if it hasn't already, which edition or which version of the Battletome would suit you best if you're more entitled to play, or you just want to read, or you want a good mix of both. If you're not going to be dragging it around with you everywhere, I would recommend getting the big hardback one still, and that works out slightly cheaper if you're not going to be buying the cards. But I thought this would be an interesting little video. Let me know what you think in the comments, and if you've bought one of these Gamers Editions, let me know what you think. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.